Good morning. Am I on? Hello. How you feeling so far? Yay, we're good. All right, well, we're going to raise energy up a little bit more, and as you may or may not know, I could use your help with a little percussion. So there's drums and rattles and shakers and things over here. Please grab one, should you feel so inclined. Repeat after me. Most of you know this, some of you don't. The words to our chant go like this. We are circling. Circling together. We are singing. Singing our heart song. This is family. This is unity. This is celebration. This is sacred. Take a deep breath. We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our heart song. This is family, this is unity, this is celebration, this is sacred. We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our heart song. This is family, this is unity, this is celebration, this is sacred. We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our heart song. This is family, this is unity, this is celebration, this is sacred. We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our heart song. This is family, this is unity, this is celebration, this is sacred. Do that one more time. We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our heart song. This is family, this is unity, this is celebration, this is sacred. Good job, everyone. Take another deep breath. And this is our moment to observe and interact. So take a moment, look around the room, see who's with you here so far this morning. And then I want you to go find someone that you may not know or haven't seen in the longest period of time and go say hello, introduce yourself, ask them how you're doing. For those of you who are viewing on YouTube and Facebook, please do put in the chat where you are from and let us know that you are here.
Holy, holy, first two measures, looping is the intro. Until our singer decides to jump on in.
And that's a CSL House Band, everybody. Good morning. And good morning to everyone who's viewing us on YouTube and Facebook and in the online world. Welcome. I'm Reverend Elisha Christopher. I am the spiritual director here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Cruz. My pronouns are they and them, and my ancestors on my father's side come from Scotland and Ireland, and on my mother's side from Austria and Holland. Take a deep breath, would you? Here at CSL Santa Cruz, we acknowledge the history of colonization and its devastating impact on our world, and specifically on the original inhabitants of this land. Recognizing that both colonization and decolonization are active choices and processes alive today, we are dedicated to cultivating a consciousness of inclusion. We commit daily to actively decolonize our own minds, and this begins right here, right now, with the land beneath our feet, as we acknowledge its original inhabitants. And so please take another deep breath and feel your feet on the ground. And let us begin our morning by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the unceded territory of the Awaswas-speaking Upi tribe, the Amamutsan tribal band. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. And so now, if you will, speak out loud with me our mission, vision, and purpose, which is on the screen and also in the half sheets if you got one on the way in. Let's say this mindfully together. Our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Yes, our vision is a world that works for everyone and all life on earth. And we are a community dedicated to possibility. That's what we're here for. So we have a fabulous morning planned for you today. Sky Leona, our beloved, is our practitioner of the day who will be praying us up. We have Reverend Grace Lovejoy holding us in prayer with the prayer box in the back. Our musical muse today is the CSL House Band. Our message will be delivered to us today through our beloved Reverend Tamara Merrill. Yes. And we're going to begin with a little chant. So I'm going to invite Heather and Valerie up to join me. Yeah. And so for the season of emergence, which is the second half of spring leading into summer, the song that we are singing, our congregational song, is We Shall Be Known by my muse. And Heather, we learned this a little bit last week, but Heather's going to teach it to you, and then we're going to invite you to sing it with us.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Yay. So happy to be here. This is by my muse. We shall be known by the company we keep. Ready? And
we shall be known by the company we keep.
By the ones who circle round, attend these fires.
By the ones who circle round, attend these fires.
We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap, and
we shall be known by the ones who sow and reap
the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. The seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive.
It is time now. It is time now that we thrive.
It is time we lead ourselves into the well.
It is time we lead ourselves into the well.
It is time now, and what a time to be alive.
It is time now, and what a time to be alive.
In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. All right, yeah.
You got it.
All right, you ready to sing it with us? Okay, here we go. 3, 4. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
And so take a deep breath as we move into prayer.
That was hard to get here on time. Oh, I'm in the middle now. I've been asked to read this poem. I did this as a special project for the foundations class. It's called This Thing Called Me. Today I offer my attention to the everyday sacred, to the wonder of this moment. I cannot put the wind in a box, nor the sunshine in a jar, nor birdsong in my hands. I cannot put a giggle in my pocket. But I can know these sacred moments by heart. I know I am in the loving presence and power of the one absolute existence. I know that the essence, the soul of me, is eternal. And in my present form and conscious expression, I know myself in 1,000 ways, and I am blessed. I know this by heart. For even now, I am the sunlight that warms my shoulders, and the soft star that shines at night. The light and love that I am is complete and yet never and ever expanding, ever expanding. And my purpose here is not done, but ever becoming. My family and friends know my love for them, allowing that love to warm their hearts, illumine their souls, and guide them as we make our ways together in this life. I know this by heart. And so join me now, taking a deep breath, and feel that awe and that wonder. For it is that awe and wonder that is a thank you to the one essence, that one absolute existence, ever becoming, ever in the process of creating. That is us participating in this life on this planet. With these bodies we play life with. So let us know then that we have a part to play. And it expresses in our highest level of joy, unbounded. And it expresses in our unconditional loving capacity. Expresses in the wisdom that is ever available to us. I know then that we here now are creating this sacred space, these sacred moments. We are creating an opening for the inspiration of our musical company today. We are creating an ability to express love with another. We share and we break bread together. This is us, the Center for Spiritual Living. And the magical words that come to us today through our speakers are unparalleled as an opening to yet the more of us. Blessed are we, and so it is.
Read between the lines, and you will surely find there's no secret to be discovered. The deeper your mind uncovers the truth in you, the truth. Reality's folding, the past that you're holding on to is in you. There's an inner knowing, and the doors of perception are closing in on you. The new moon twilight glows just below the rising of our souls. Between daylight and darkness is the place that we feel safe. Between daylight and darkness is the place that we feel safe. What are you waiting for? What are you hoping for? The truth lives in you. So what are you waiting for? What are you hoping for? The truth lives in you. What are you waiting for? What are you hoping for? The truth lives in you.
Thanks, you guys. You were awesome. That was a beautiful song. Thank you. Oh, it's wonderful. I feel like I've been gone for a very long time. Right now, I would like to have a moment of thought and a moment of silence for our country right now and for all of those parents who lost all their children in Uvalde, Texas. I think that the moral outrage is correct, but as Thich Nhat Hanh said, if we want a way out, we have to go in. That as we spiritually pioneer this philosophy, this relationship that we are navigating with the divine, we must go in. We must constantly work to achieve finding peace with our inner wars within ourselves. And that's not an easy thing to do. But it is necessary. For world peace starts with us, as in our very beginning song. Let us go into silence with the intention of opening our heart to allow and discover how this event can be wiped off as a occurrence in our country on almost a monthly to weekly basis. So let us go in and take heart to look within and find peace within our own personal wars.
Thank you. The quote that Science of Mind gave for us today was by Anais Nin. We don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. And I invite you, as a spiritual warrior today, to commit to something that is a spiritual practice that you can embrace. Because I'm going to say this almost every time I come up here, and you'll say, she has said that a lot. It is not our philosophy that is always all that in a bag of chips, although I love it and I prefer it, and that's why I'm here and have committed my time to learn and grow. But every belief system, every religious dogma is trying to point us, but it gets convoluted in the message. Because spiritual practice is the only thing that can override our ego. And our egos are so wonderful, but they're very difficult to deal with, wouldn't you agree? Oh my, you know. And with spiritual practice, we go and discover places within that answer that call, that answer that necessity to expand and find and move and love. And so, I want to tell you a story. I've been gone, feels like forever, but the first place I went to was a destination wedding. I was officiating in Stinson Beach, a 3-day wedding, which was fascinating. And the most fascinating part, after all the magical places that were on this property, was the very last day. My foster daughter and I got to spend the night in the big house. There's several houses, you know. One particular house can house like 37 people, so can you imagine, right? Finding the place was really difficult. It's very hidden off of Highway 1 going to Stinson Beach. But I walked, the last day, everybody was going home. It was a Sunday night around 9 o'clock, and I had wonderful discussions with these wonderful people that had come from all over the country and all over the world. Okinawa, Japan, many different places, London. When everybody went to bed, I was in the main house. And I hadn't been there in that particular room. It was a library. And it was fascinating, you guys. It was so fascinating. It had these huge leather chairs, and it looked like something from the 1940s. And I can't tell you, there was velvet cushions, and the patterns were that of the 40s, and this incredible old library, and a chess set, and a great baby grand piano. It was just really awesome. And I was like getting the vibe. And I wanted to go and do this little experiment where I walk and look into someone's library and pick a book out and open it up and see what it has to say. So I did that, and the first one was like, eh. Eh. The second one, I'm like, this is going to be it, right? This is it. Open up, oh, no, it's not speaking to me. So the third one, I go, this has got to be it, you know, and it was. Now, I open this book up, and I am like, whoa, that's religious science. Whoa, when was this written? Okay. Some of it's from the 1840s, some of it's from the 1940s. It was published in 1941 from the Harvard Press. And it was on French literature. Well, I don't know anything about French literature. I can't even pronounce French words very well, you know, so I was like, But what was fascinating is there was a little bit of history in that house. And the only history I knew was that Oppenheimer, who created the nuclear bomb, that was one of his places that he went for refuge. The United Nations would come to discuss how to heal nuclear energy from the planet, meaning getting rid of it after one has created it. And So I was like in this presence, and I had this spiritual experience when I was reading the book. It was like I felt something like, it wasn't eerie, but it was definitely in the spiritual realm. And I was just so fascinated, so I started taking pictures of the quotes with my phone out of the book, because I had to return the book, right? And then I went online and I found the book, and I ordered it, and I got it home. And I have it here today. And I would like to read something from it because it's really fascinating. And again, I do not speak French well. The author is Lemaitre, From Cubanism to Surrealism in French Literature. Well, that doesn't sound like that's us, right? But it talks about the revolution of a system that is no longer working. Does that sound familiar? It talks about linear thinking being the stagnation of the consciousness of the world. And it talks about the revolutionary aspects of metaphysics. And it talks about it in art and literature and poetry. For that, it was the way that you could get away from the dogma of religion at the time. People were searching just like us in the 1840s, and I'm sure way before in Plato and Greek mythology and et cetera, to navigate a way to find a relationship with the soul, or the I am. And they did it through, Picasso was a person that came during that time because he would not color in the lines. He decided not to paint things paint this leaf just to look like a leaf. He saw infinite possibilities on how to paint a leaf and decided that coloring in the lines was not for him. and that there were so many ways to express oneself. And again, in poetry, to express ideologies and ideas that were on the cutting edge, that weren't the mainstream. Because what was happening is people started to suffer from a system that was so linear, it did not give room to grow. And I want us to think about our systems that we have taken on with no question. With all the infinite possibilities in the world, we're not stuck with these systems. The courage to go against them, however, is difficult. But what if we take the approach of not going against, but of holding what our spiritual premise is of transformation? How can we transform those systems? And those systems come from how we behave and think within ourselves first. So I am going to read something. Intense spirituality cannot be achieved through careful, rational analysis, nor through cold-blooded dissection of the external aspects of the world. It can only be realized in a state of lyrical enthusiasm. When the soul of man enters into communion with the spirit of the whole cosmos, and the two vibrate together in perfect harmony, this order is to rise to this exalted state. And man has to leave behind his discursive intelligence, which distinguishes and isolates him from the rest of the creation. For me, that's really powerful, because our mind, our critical thinking, that serves us wonderfully, doesn't it? It does. But also comes with it our great ego. And I want to read this because I read it and I said, whew, whew. Two things. The death of my ego is the birth of my true self. Yeah, whew. And how we go about bearing that, that is part of our journey. But this, again, comes back to the paradigm of spirituality and the material paradigm. The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, but the illusion that you have knowledge. Now that's a paradox, isn't it? Okay. The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, but the illusion that you have knowledge. And that includes me. It's part of knowing on the spiritual path. Way back in the 1840s, the 1940s, when Ernest Holmes was writing The Science of Mind text, metaphysics, spirituality was coming out with great force after World War I and before World War II. Big time. And of course, during that time, science was coming up. Nuclear fission, physics, and Einstein. And so we sit here today, 2022. We've made it this far. It's pretty awesome, huh? 2022 for some of us. And the I that we're looking for, that relationship that we are so yearning for, the calling that keeps either kicking our butt or gently whispering in our ear, and sometimes it's a little bit of both for me. This month seemed more like kicking my butt, but there are times when it feels like it's gently whispering in my ear. That the I that we are looking for, the I am, the I, the relationship of going inward. When we talk about enlightenment, enlightenment is not so that we may walk on water, so that we may have throngs of followers, that's the word. The inner journey is about the discovery of something bigger than our ego that is always calling us. And I believe the only true moral compass that we have is not of the intellect, because everyone has their own worldview. Each and every 7.5 point whatever billion people on the planet all have their own opinions of something. Imagine that. And so, how do we get along? How do we find compassion? And it was pointed out to me that the only moral compass we need is the heart. The only moral compass we need is our heart. Now, at first I said, ooh, that's very vulnerable, and I don't know, I've made some bad choices around my heart, decisions, but I don't really know if they were truly, purely of my heart. Sometimes it was of desire, sometimes it was of desire, sometimes it was because that's what I wanted. I don't, because I wanted what I wanted, or I, wanted it to manipulate it to work out the way I wanted it to, or it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So then I stomped my feet, and it still didn't change. It worked when I was 2. I don't know why it's not working now. But the heart, and how we find the lessons of the heart, is through a spiritual practice. And there's no good, there's no bad. It's about a relationship we have with ourselves. And the wanting more is really about wanting to experience more of who we are, to create more, to feel more. And in order to do that, we have to work through our suffering. The young man who was 18 years old, who was so disconnected with life, that the sense of separation was so unbearable that he attacked, thinking that that was his way out. His anger, his disappointment, his lack of whatever his desires were. We teach people dogma. We teach people systems. We don't teach people how to live. We don't teach people how to connect with their hearts. We talk about it being vulnerable. We're caught in the illusion of looking good, of having more, of, having more than the guy next door, the woman next door. And all the time, the emptiness of it comes forward. The unhappiness comes forward because it doesn't satisfy. And I remember my friend who had just watched Eckhart Tolle, who sang that song, "I can't get no satisfaction." Remember, I shared that before. It's like grasping and grasping. But to go within takes a spiritual warrior. Because we have to face our ego. We have to face the demons that we have created through our thinking. It's one thing to be conscious of our thoughts and to, say our affirmations and do our prayers. Those are very good spiritual practices. But as John Ashroff says, our subconscious is an 800-pound gorilla. Our subconscious isn't our monkey mind that jumps from this or that, this desire, this want, this achievement, that achievement. Our subconscious, which is part of the systems that we have been born into, is an 800-pound gorilla. And if we do not know how to train that gorilla, it'll drag us around a lot of places we don't want to go. The subconscious mind. So how do we deal with our subconscious mind? Heck, I could claim ignorance. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on down there. But the truth is, intuitively, instinctively, we know. We know. But it is usually so quiet. It's that whisper. That gorilla's got me by the neck a lot of times, And it takes effort. It takes effort to be a spiritual warrior. It takes effort to change your thinking, to change your life. And it's even bigger than changing your thinking to change your life. It's changing your behavior. That's hard. But it's so worth it. And you don't have to spend 25 years in a monastery to change your life. And I've said this again, but changing one's life, if one is aware, and I am not always aware, is in this moment. This moment. This is the only moment that exists. In this moment, I can say, stop, Tamara, and think. Is what you're about to say coming from your heart, your head, or your ego? Because being a teacher of special ed, I have to tell everybody what to do all the time and how to do it and have to say it 3 times to make sure they heard me say it so they could follow what I know. We need to remember that we're not here to change anyone's mind. We're not here to make everybody else on the planet believe the way we do, which is disappointing in my ego. I feel like they're missing out. I got the answer over here. I got the knowledge. Oh, that's an illusion. Dang. Okay, well. Anyway, I really believe that it's not about converting anybody to anything. Because if we truly believe in infinite possibilities, then we should be reaching for the stars, not the systems that have been in place that are kind of messed up. Thich Nhat Hanh got kicked out of Vietnam because he would not take sides between the communist and the democracy side of Vietnam. He got kicked out. Both sides got mad at him. And Brene Brown talks about that. You know where polarization comes from? Here's the line. You're either for me or you're against me. And I've talked about this. There's no other issue. You're on that line, you're on this line. That's it. There's no more choices. Do you think that's true? So why do we play the game so hard? Why do we play the game of them and us? Well, some people say it's our brain. We have a part of our brain that wants to be right. Anyone here want to be right? As one of my teachers, Terry Whitaker, said, you want to be right or happy? And my question was both. My answer was both. I want to be right and happy. Why do I have to choose? There you go again, making me choose, right? But that choice is different. Being right has a lot to do with ego. If we really led with the heart, we would find that whether you're Democrat or Republican, it's about your heart. It's about your values. When it comes to gun control, it's not either or. It's about finding a solution for all. It's not either or. We have other countries like Switzerland, has the only country that has more guns per capita than we do, per person. They don't have any mass shootings. Why? We have other things going on here. We have huge mental health issues that we haven't addressed. And what is that? You know, like the father of the young man the grandfather of the young man who shot all those children and two teachers. He said he didn't know his grandson. He went to work, he came home. He ate and went to bed, watched some TV. We are disconnected. We are in suffering when we have a sense of separation, because we can never be separated from our source. It's who we are, right? We can never be separated, but we sure can have a sense of separation, and we sure can feel disconnected, can't we? But if we take that on a bigger scale, even our health, even health issues, even habits that don't serve us, they're all about trying to get back to the connection of who we really are. All of them. Everything. Thich Nhat Hanh talked about, we talk about the earth as the environment. He said that's dualistic thinking. That's dualistic thinking. If we really went within to the I am, we would start to really experience what we talk about here all the time, is oneness, right? We talk about oneness all the time. But our ego and our intellect don't like that. What you talking about? I'm me, you're over there, I'm here. You know, hello, material paradigm. This, everything about it. So he goes, when you really go within, the first line that evaporates through meditation or a spiritual practice is the you and I. Then you experience this intense oneness, and many people may have had a moment of spiritual awakening when you felt one with everything. Has anyone ever experienced that? It's sometimes common to experience that. It's a beautiful feeling. It doesn't last but a few seconds or minutes. You're like, dang, where'd that go? But he said, if we really look at nature, if we really sit with nature, so you don't know how to, if you don't read, if you're not an intellectual and you don't need to read a lot of books, you can sit in the grass. And if you really contemplate and go within, you can find the cosmos in a blade of grass. He said, once that illusion of separation is dissolved in your meditation, in your spiritual practice, the next illusion is time and space. That's the next thing that goes. And he says, but what you realize is that you are the earth, and the earth is you. It is oneness with the earth. And it made me think really hard. I was like, you're right. This body belongs to the earth. It is one with the earth. Everything from the earth nurtures it, nourishes it. The air I breathe, everything, and it goes right back. So I am the earth. We are destroying, we know it's a metaphor, but we are destroying ourselves because we don't have a recognition of connectiveness, of being connected to nature, of being connected as the earth as us. So all of it is about this sense of disconnection. So how do we get around that? I have to look at my notes. So, are you willing as a spiritual warrior to endure, and Elijah talks a lot about this, to endure discomfort for self-discovery to be healed and whole? Are you willing? Because it is uncomfortable. I got, like I said, I was in this house having this spiritual experience. And I knew Oppenheimer had lived there, but last night I was looking up about the house, found out that Al Capone had stayed there quite a bit. And John Steinbeck, actually one of the people who were staying there, found a letter from John Steinbeck that in one of the books. Unfortunately, I didn't go through enough books. I didn't find a letter from John Steinbeck. But, and Jerry Garcia. So there's an eclectic group of people who stayed in this house. Had a lot of magical energy. But I'm asking you, are you willing to endure discomfort? Because looking at yourself is not always pretty. I know this last couple of weeks, I haven't been very pretty in some of my interactions. I've been irritated, frustrated, want it my way. I like that song. And I did it my way. Nope, that doesn't work. But anyway, the one thing is if we're willing to feel discomfort and practice a spiritual practice, we can change the world by changing the world within us. And collectively, we really do change the world. We really do. And because there's infinite possibilities, it will come to us. And I want to leave with this. There are 3 things I want to talk about. These are the 3 R's, and then I'm going to give you the 3 A's. I'm not going in alphabetical order. And then I got to get off here. The 3 R's. Think about recognizing the patterns and emotions and behaviors that you automatically do and take responsibility for them. Ow. Ow! Self-reflection is the only way for spiritual growth. When you look within, you do your meditation, you are looking at the I am. You have to reflect and ask these questions. How'd I do today? How could I have done it differently? What change is needed? Self-reflection is the way we grow. Without self-reflection, we can't grow. We just stay the same because my ego wants, I'm okay, you're okay, just leave me alone. Do what I want. So recognition of your patterns and your behaviors, reflect on what do I need to change, and reframe it. If something doesn't work for you, reframe it. And we can reframe it in the moment. Instead of thinking that someone is attacking you or being mean to you, remember it's not about them, it's about you. And be able to reframe it so you can live with it in a peaceful way. Because how we respond to life reflects your consciousness at the time. So if you act crappy, that's a reflection of where you are in your consciousness. That is what you're putting forth, out, thinking, and feeling. And the one thing I want to leave with that I stopped doing was to do 3 A's. One was to wake up in the morning and give myself 5 gratitudes, what I'm grateful for. The powerful one for me was to forgive myself daily for not living up to my own expectations. And then have an intention to be the spiritual warrior that I want in this moment. So that's what I invite you to do, is to recognize in each moment, am I being the person I want to become as my spiritual warrior? So have a great week and namaste. Oh. Okay, come on up, guys. Do you want me to pray or? And so it is, amen.
Thank you, Tamara. That was wonderful. All right, feel free to sing along if you know the words. I'm sure you guys will recognize this song, Higher Love, which we want to try to lift it up on this Sunday morning and just reach for higher love. So feel free to sing along.
Think about it. There must be higher love down in the heart.
Thank you.
Don't you just love these people? Ah, my friends, this is our time in our service for our conscious giving, for our gratitude, for the opportunity to deepen into what's happening here, to invest in it and to lift it up. And so I'm going to call our board members, our ushers forward. And if you have a gift to share with us this morning, I want to invite you to just bring that out and hold it in your hand, or place a hand near your heart, and just repeat after me. For all that I am, for all that I have, for all that I receive, and for all that I'm able to give, I am truly grateful. And so it is.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. That we rest in God and say amen.
And so if you will, take another deep breath in. As I just speak a word of gratitude for everything that is unfolding in this community, for everything that is happening in this place, for the deepening that is awakening in each one of us. I speak a word of gratitude for each gift given, whether they be given today in these offerings, whether they be given online continuously. I speak a word of gratitude for all of the gifts that make this community what it is. Not just the financial gifts, but all of the time, all of the talent, all of the dedication that comes into making this a community. I am grateful. And so as we step ever deeper into this moment of gratitude, as we acknowledge all that is being cultivated in this space, I want to speak a word of healing. A word of healing for our nation. A word of healing for our hearts. A word of healing for all of the pain and suffering that is happening in our world, because I know that freedom is calling us. I know that something more is pulling on our collective heart. And so may we awaken to it, and may we step towards it today. And so into this collective, I speak a word of healing for each one of us. And if you are needing physical healing in your body temple, I want to invite you to stand in this moment into your willingness to receive it. If you are needing healing in the areas of love or forgiveness or relationship anywhere in your life, I invite you to stand into your willingness to receive that. If you are in need of financial prosperity and abundance or healing in your finances, I ask you to stand into your willingness to receive that. And as we call in the collective healing that is necessary for all of us, I just invite you to stand into the willingness to participate, to look into yourself, and to listen. And so as we breathe ever deeper into this, let us just move forward in gratitude and remember that there is something greater than we are, a power for good in this universe. Call it evolution, but I know that it is calling us. Let us be moved by it in everything we do. And so it is. Thank you. Have a seat. Take another breath, would you? Whew. Well, my friends, we are just about out of here. I have a couple announcements for you today. We have our Felt Street Flea Market. We did it a weekend and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. We have another one coming up on June 11th. Reminder that we are interested in having a bit of a rummage sale. Becky's back there. Raise your hand, Becky, if you have any questions about the flea market. If you want to help us coordinate the rummage sale so we can all bring some stuff in and sell a little extra, make some extra money for the center, talk to Becky. She has more information for you if you want to participate in that. The one on the 28th was on the 21st was super fun. There was lots of members of the community here, and we're going to do it again on June 11th, so please come join us. My upcoming synthesis classes are about to start in a week and a half. Synthesis Chapter 1 is the introduction to the synthesis philosophy and method, which is my personal synthesized brand of new thought. And all of the synthesis classes are really focused on you identifying one change, one shift, one thing that you want to bring into the world, and focusing all that you're learning onto that to make that change and to make that thing happen in your life. And if you've already participated in Chapter 1, there's also going to be a Chapter 2 class, and synthesis has multiple levels to it. And Chapter 2 is really about really designing what we call ritual living. It's all of the elements of your daily life that support your project or your prayer unfolding in your life. So please join me for Chapter 1 or for Chapter 2 or for both. Chapter 1 is on Thursdays at 4:30 starting June 9th on Zoom, and Chapter 2 is on Wednesdays at 4:30 here at the center. Let's see, there is a whole lot of opportunities for you to jump in and participate in this thing we call community here at CSL Santa Cruz. We need some more of you to help us greet each other as you enter the space on Sunday mornings. We need some help with getting another few people up here to do announcements occasionally. We need help organizing our rentals. We need some more people on the camera and the computer in the background. So there's lots of places to serve. And Becky, raise your hand again, Becky. She's doing a lot around here. Becky is also recently volunteered to be our new volunteer coordinator. So she's going to be tapping you on the shoulder at some point saying, hey, you want to do something? And that's one of the things she's going to be doing. So keep an eye out, and there's lots to do. We really will. Okay, one more don't forget to check your e-news. There's so much happening here, and you do not want me to give you 10 announcements on Sunday. So please check your e-news. There's something happening almost every day of the week here at the center. There is a QR code on the half sheets. If you scan that, you can sign up for the e-news. It's really simple. Do not leave here with a heavy heart. If there is something you need prayer for to be lifted up in any way, our practitioners and ministers are here for you. We love to pray, and we want to support you in any way that we can. Okay, deep breath. I want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up, for participating, for listening, for doing the work. I want to say thanks to Ellen in the kitchen on the other side of the wall, who is setting up all of everything that goes into our social hour and snack time together. Do feel free to help stay afterwards and clean up. She loves the help, and we don't want anyone doing things by themselves around here. I want to say thank you to our musical muses, our CSL House Band, and also to Heather and Valerie for stepping up today. Thank you to Maggie Dreyer and Susan Pankratz, our media magicians, and Jason on camera. Thank you. Thank you to Sky and Reverend Grace for holding us in your prayerful consciousness today, and to Reverend Tamara for your message. Thank you. To all of our viewers online, thanks for tuning in, whether you're seeing us now or sometime later in the week. We're so glad you tune in to participate with us. Thank you for being here in the room. And here's the band for our closing song. Thanks for being here. Love you, my friends. Let's do it.
Come on, everybody, put your hands together. Get on up, come on.
Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? So fine, sunshine. Say the word love.
In the beginning, I misunderstood, but now I got it. The word is good.
So say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? So fine, it's sunshine. Say the word love.
Everywhere I go, I heard it said, in the good and the bad books that I have read. So
Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? So fine, sunshine. Say the word love.
now that I know what I feel is right, I'm here to show everybody the light. So
Say
say
the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? So fine, sunshine. Say the word love. Say the word love. Say the word love. It's so fine, it's sunshine. Say the word love.
Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.